Let's talk about quality. We hear that word all the time, right? Quality products, quality service, quality of life. But what does it actually mean? It's a word we throw around constantly, but we almost never stop to actually define it. So what if I told you there's a simple, really practical tool that can turn that vague idea of quality into something you can actually measure, you can track, and you can deliver? It doesn't matter if you're making a cup of coffee or, literally saving a life. To get there, we first need to take a look at how our whole idea of quality has gone through this huge shift in thinking. See, the old view was pretty simple. Quality just meant compliance. Did you follow the spec sheet? Did you meet the technical standards? It was all very black and white. But the modern view, which was pioneered by thinkers like Joseph Juran, is completely different. It defines quality as fitness for use. And here's the crucial point. It doesn't matter one bit how well your product meets some internal spreadsheet if it doesn't meet what the customer actually expects. As Juran put it, it's about whether the product/service features meet customer expectations. So in this new way of thinking, the customer, and only the customer, is the ultimate judge of quality. Okay, that sounds great in theory. But how in the world do you translate a customer's feelings into concrete, measurable actions? Well, that brings us to this brilliant little tool called the critical to quality tree. A CTQ, or critical to quality characteristic, is one of the key measurable things about a product or service that is absolutely essential from the customer's point of view. It's all about learning to see your work through their eyes and figuring out what really matters to them.
All right, let's take a super simple example. A customer walks into your cafe and says, "I want a good coffee." How do you measure good? I mean, it seems totally subjective, doesn't it?
This is where the CTQ tree just works its magic. That vague idea of good coffee gets translated into key drivers, things like taste, temperature, and cost. And from there, you break it down even further into specific, measurable requirements your team can actually track and deliver on. Suddenly, good means the coffee has to be between 60 and 80 degrees Celsius and costs less than £3. See? Actionable. And this shows you just how versatile the tool is. Good customer service gets broken down into drivers like having knowledgeable reps and short wait times, and then those get broken down into measurable actions, like greeting the customer by name. It literally transforms a vague feeling into a checklist for excellence. So we've seen how this works for coffee, for customer service. Pretty straightforward stuff. But now let's really raise the stakes. Let's see how these exact same principles apply in a field where quality can literally save lives: healthcare. When we talk about quality in American healthcare, one name always stands out: the Institute of Medicine, or the IOM. It's basically the health arm of the national academies, and their whole job is to provide expert, evidence-based advice on health and medicine. And just to give you a sense of their credibility here, the national academies were chartered by Congress and signed into law by President Abraham Lincoln himself, way back in 1863. Their mission since day one has been to provide independent, objective advice to the nation. So in 2001, the IOM released this landmark report called Crossing the Quality Chasm. And what it did was identify this massive gap between the care patients could be getting and the care they were actually receiving. But the report didn't just point out all the problems. No, it also provided a really clear blueprint for a better system, a blueprint that's still guiding healthcare improvement to this day. And right at the heart of that blueprint were 6 key goals for redesigning the entire system, all summarized by the handy acronym STEEP. So let's break down the first 3. The report said all healthcare should be safe, timely, and effective. Now, these might seem kinda obvious, but actually defining them and putting them on paper was a revolutionary step. First up, safe. The goal here is simple: avoid harming patients. And the report set this incredibly powerful benchmark. Care in a hospital should be as safe as care in a patient's own home. That really makes you think, right? It's all about systematically reducing medical errors. Second, timely. This is about cutting down on wait times and those delays that can be genuinely harmful for everybody involved. Getting prompt access to care isn't just a nice to have, it is directly linked to better health outcomes. And third, effective. This is really the bedrock of modern medicine. It means you provide care that's based on solid scientific knowledge to everyone who could benefit from it. And, just as importantly, you don't provide services to people who are not likely to benefit. It's about fighting both the underuse and the overuse of care. So, from the simple clarity of that coffee shop CTQ tree to the life-saving framework of Steep, we can see that quality isn't just some vague feeling, it's a system. It's something that can be designed, measured, and delivered. So my question to you is this. Now that you know the framework, where do you see the biggest need for this kind of steep thinking in the world around you?